The Grenada Chamber of Industry and Commerce, as well as shipping logistics experts and economists worldwide, are thinking of ways in which Grenada and other Caribbean countries can mitigate against the fallout from the current global shipping crisis that is inducing increasing inflation and affecting the consumer price index in import-heavy countries. One of the panelists, economist Dr. Don Charles, called for Caribbean governments and private sector organizations to look into the implementation of regional value chains as a way to mitigate against the increasing cost of basic consumer goods in this period.
One of the measures that I recommend is supply, increasing productive capacity. And I strongly want to recommend again the import substitution. So apart from the food, apart from the production of primary products and agro-processing, we could try to see how best we can look at, let's say, regional value chains, how we can collaborate within the Caribbean and collectively produce different goods and services. So we might have one country might be strong in producing one product, another country might have a deficiency in that product. Why do we not, as Caribbean neighbors, I mean, we form this whole CARICOM and CSME and so forth, put this thing to use. Why don't we collaborate and produce different goods and export and trade with each other?
Lloydon Ali, a Grenadian air cargo specialist based in Doha, Qatar, says the region at this time needs to boost agricultural production several notches up to cushion the effects of this global shipping crisis, which he predicts will not end until the first quarter of 2023.
So from the global environment, globalization is part of the real world in which we live in. But what would be really important is that Caribbean governments, and in particular my own country of Grenada, we need to be very creative. We need to be agile. We need to be adaptive. Most of all, we also need to be inclusive in how we tackle the measures going forward. So the initiative proposed by the Chamber of Industry and Commerce is a very good one. Again, it's a very short-term measure because we have to pay for stuff. And we are a net importer of goods and services. So fundamentally, we need money to pay for those goods that's coming in.
Emmanuel Duncan, Executive Director of the Grenada Chamber of Industry and Commerce, says that many businesses in Grenada understand the challenges that consumers are currently facing and are doing what they can to soften the blow that comes with stickier shock at local retailers, while also trying to break even and stay in business. Duncan says the Chamber has been working with government to find ways of subsidizing the cost of some goods, such as masks, sanitizers, and temperature readers.
Many businesses are actually taking a bit of a hit on margin, understanding the plight of the consumer. What you would notice generally, if you move around, is that, and you discuss with many business owners, it's simply, obviously there's a cost we pass along, but they're attempting to take a bit of a hit on margin to tighten the belt as much as possible so that the impact doesn't flow through to the total impact doesn't flow through the consumers. And we have to commend businesses who are doing that.
The experts appeared on the weekly Diaspora Current Affairs program with Grenadian journalist Kellon Bob. Chrislina John, GBN News.